All right, how is everybody doing this week? It is November the 12th, 2020. It's Thursday. And if you're starting your day in the US, it should be 9 a.m. Eastern. It's 10 p.m. here now in Singapore, given the change in daylight savings, I guess about a week or so back. And as you can kind of see here, we are in our daily FX session, the US session, which is going to be opening very soon. And if you haven't already, you can join our free membership here at tradewithufos.com/Andrew. All right, and you can enter your particulars here if you want to get alerts about these sessions. We not only hold these sessions on Trade with UFOs channel here, but also on FX Street. And for that schedule, I'll navigate to that in a minute. But just a reminder, don't forget to press that like button right down below, and also subscribe to it down there as well. And so we'd love to, make sure that we continue these sessions, and we just want to know, whether you benefit from them, right? And so by doing that like button and subscribing to our channel, you'll definitely let us know that. Okay, so there's our schedule. We not only do Forex, but we also do sessions on futures and options and stocks and trading psychology and all sorts of stuff, which is important for you as traders to gain some knowledge on. And we have a number of different traders basically who present here on our channel. And they bring their own flavor to things, and so that's what we want to make sure is that as you try to learn about how to navigate the financial markets, in whether it be Forex, whether it be stocks, whether it be futures, whether it be options, that you have people who know what they're talking about and who have experience in these areas, and we really want to help you out. So as you can see here, the membership to Trade with UFOs is free, right? And that just gives you access to, obviously this channel. We keep you up to date with what's going on there. But also we have, other courses that we, that we run. We are, of course, have these apps that we have, Auto UFOs and Auto Climate, which you see me and my fellow coaches train people, show you how to use and apply in these the various financial markets that they're involved with. So there's a great piece of technology, and of course in today's world, right, we need to have that edge. And so whether you have existing strategies or technologies that you use, or techniques that you use, Auto UFOs and Auto Climate definitely can help you to complement those strategies. Or we have our own methodology to kind of show you how you can use and apply the apps in your decision making for your trades. Okay, so with that, I will help you navigate just to our website here, and as you can see, if you just type in tradewithufos.com/Andrew, that will take you to this page, right, where you can enter your name, email address, tell us you're not a robot, and then go to those next steps. Okay, we are also starting to offer one-on-one coaching and all this sort of stuff. So if you need more input, then definitely there's stuff there that you can do with us. And of course, if you click on join here, there is the sort of memberships that we have, the apps that we have on offer, the courses, and even lectures at your own pace. Okay, so all this sort of stuff you can check out on the website, and there's of course some exciting stuff that we're going to be offering coming up soon. So so do come to the website, and of course here is our trade with UFOs. And so it's not just nailing FX. We have short-term trading, long-term trading, sharpening, all this sort of stuff. Okay, so plenty of stuff out there on our YouTube channel. And again, please subscribe up here on the right. And if you press the bell, then you'll get emails, right, from YouTube to let you know when our sessions are running. And of course, the like button in our sessions. Okay, all right. Let's now go back to the presentation here. Okay, my slides here, and so we do run training. Well, of course, our FX Street sessions and YouTube sessions. That's our schedule there coming up. Okay, and there's also a class that I'm doing in November 23rd to 27th, right? So, and that's also, if you're new to auto UFOs, you're new to AutoClimb, and you want to know how to use that, then attending this class will definitely help you, and it's recorded, so you can play it at any time you want. If you need to kind of follow up on that. And so again, you'll get access to our technology for 3 months. AutoClimate actually you get to keep forever, right? So we know that people need time to practice, and also with your busy schedules, you may need also time to go through the materials and see how you can apply it to your trading, right? And so that's why we give, for those who attend the course, 3 months access to our technology as part of the training. Okay. What else do we have coming up is, now let's just dive into the markets, right? So, on the Aussie side, we've, and we'll look at these in the charts. The question is, are there, it's still kind of sunny out there, kind of been basing for the last few days. But the question is, are there some showers coming up? Nothing seems on the horizon yet. Unlike Euro, where we have started to see a bit of a downwards move. But are there, rays of sunshine emerging with a move back up just recently? Well, we'll take a look at that. For pound, the answer to that question is, well, maybe, right? But do we see still sunny times ahead? We'll see. Let's go into the charts. The dollar CAD, the loonie still remains strong in my mind, but we have seen some strength there. But is that still going to continue? So again, that question is still there. And dollar yen, we have had some strong moves into the yen and then out of the yen. And so that sunny means more that the dollar yen has gone up, which is actually not that great for the yen in of itself. Okay, so just a general sort of overview of some of the major markets that kind of look at. What's up ahead today and going into tomorrow, Friday? Well, we've got the central bankers talking about stuff, basically. So, is that going to give any sort of indications of, what they potentially will do, in relation to interest rates? Well, I mean, can you really much get lower than zero and negative or very low rates? Well, we'll see. We'll see what they're going to talk about and see what sort of impact that has on the markets. So central bankers coming up, and on deck, of course, is the dollar index, we are now in this range, right? And so the climate at the moment for today is neutral at this point. It's been down the last 5 days there, and we had that higher high set at or a high set at 94.30. It's kind of more of a lower high, and then we had that lower low set at 92.15. So it's still a downward sort of pressure, right? And so we need to see these highs being broken, right, before we have any sort of sense of a move beyond 94.75. Otherwise, we're basically in a range now. Okay, so we're going to a little bit more context of that right now. So let's just jump to the dollar. Okay, and so we have had a bit of a move there, bouncing back up, but it could be just a retracement. And if you are into Fibonacci's, then of course if we just take a look at what is going on here. Oops. Okay, let me just get our normal sort of numbers going here. Okay, right at this level. And just turn on, maybe make it a little pinker. And extend those out to the right. All right, we're having a retracement almost reaching that 50% level. So kind of a standard move back up. But we really need to see a little bit more strength, right? If we're going to have any sort of change in overall trend. Otherwise, we're still on, at least on a daily basis, moving lower. So that could be just a standard retracement and then a move back down to the lows here. So we haven't really seen any reaction to all of that. Too much in the Aussie, right? There's a little bit of a risk on type of sense with the equities heading up there. So the commodity currencies seem to be holding pretty well. So you've got the Aussie dollar, similar sort of thing with the New Zealand dollar, which has kind of plowed through up there, right? That's been pretty strong, and it's having a bit of a pause, right? So New Zealand dollar, and then we've got the euro, right? That's come off, kind of in that sideways move, which kind of correlates to what's going on in the dollar. And then the pound has been heading up, but we've had a little bit of a response there, right? Heading up to this level, and got a bit of a move lower. So is that going to continue higher? We will see, right? So, but we've had that sort of move up there, and so I can probably take a look at some retracements here. On the Canadian, this is also where we've had that strength in the Canadian and a little bit of a pullback. Are we going to see continuation now? Is a question, right? And since we exceeded all of those lows and also that prior low there, can we see lower prices? And in some regards that could be in relation to oil as well, right? But climate again is telling us it's still a sell sort of mode. So we could probably look at some opportunities here on the Canadian. The Swissies also being pretty weak, right? And also the yen, right, has also been weak. And so if you kind of look at what's been going on with the Swissy, with yen, and also with gold, right? Gold is also sold off. And so one way to kind of think about these is, the safe haven type of currencies, or markets, are being basically unwound. I mean, that was a pretty strong move, right? After the election, the U.S. election, it seems like everybody just sold off, got out of yen, got out of Swiss, got out of gold. And so there's maybe a bit of an election hedge going on there, which they've basically unwound. So what does that mean? Does it mean that that we're going to see some continuation of yen weakness and Swiss weakness? It's kind of holding at the prior some prior highs here, and so I guess we'll really need to see with that pause in the dollar, what's gonna move these markets. Okay, so it might be good to in light of the Canadian, right? That's kind of been that it didn't respond, right, as dramatically. It's commodity sort of based as well, right? So that strength into the Aussie, strength into the New Zealand, the strength into dollar CAD, right? With the focus on wanting to own the Canadian dollar, right? Has been sold off the last few days. Similar with with Aussies kind of been basing out a little bit more. With New Zealand, it's been pretty strong, so that's probably the exception there. But there has been sort of strength into the Canadian, right? A weakness, sort of unwinding, right, in the Canadian. So let's see if what can we see in something like the CAD Swiss, for example. So one of the things that we can do just to get a big picture of what's going on with this sort of market, right? And it's always good, right, to kind of pull things back and get the big picture. Where is price moving? What are some of those support and resistance type of areas, right? And kind of spec them out a little bit. So whether you have your own techniques, right, where you kind of look for those areas where prices has somewhat responded, right, in the past, or currently, right, to kind of frame out the the sort of price action that we've been seeing. You can use these prior support, prior resistance sort of techniques, or maybe have a moving average that kind of tells you this is kind of sideways movement. Maybe use Bollinger Bands or what have you, or you could just use UFOs, right? And so what the UFOs will do is at least frame out, and if there's no green UFOs, right, then you probably have to rely on some of those other techniques, right, to help you identify some of those extremities. Now, if you don't know what UFOs stand for, if you have never attended our class, or if this is kind of the first time you've attended these sessions, UFOs stand for unfilled orders. Okay, so what these red ones here, right? These are red unfilled orders, or sell UFOs. Okay, so this is where we use technology to help us identify where those areas of high concentrations are of unfilled orders. Now, the question is, are orders there right now? Who knows? I don't know. We don't know where the big banks, whether they've placed the orders there or not. They may have, they may not have. But if price is going to go, if it gets close to that area or reaches that area, we believe that that's where they're going to be positioning their their orders, right? Because this is an area where where the app has been able to identify where if price returned there, right, that's where there would be some interest in this case selling the dollar Swiss, right? And so until that point in time, maybe their execution algorithms are going to be just sitting there waiting, doing nothing, right? But as price gets closer, along with other information that that they may enter into their algorithms to take account of, to help them make a decision, right, about whether they want to to sell at these areas, right? They will factor those in, and so for us, what our responsibility is well, using whatever techniques we have, using our risk management, parameters that we should have, that we need to have in place, right? We also make our own informed decisions. Now, we don't have the probably system capabilities or maybe even the sophistication that a lot of the big market players have, right? But and we just have our own brain, right? We also have a community, right? You have these, our channel here to also help you to make your trading decision, right? There are also the various techniques, right, which maybe you've learned over the years, or from other sources, right, where maybe you use trend lines, right, to kind of help you make a decision about something, right? Trendline breaks or support resistance breaks, all this sort of stuff, right? Those are your inputs into making a decision about whether you take a trade or not, right? But however you make that decision, right? Yeah, the big market players, they have their own process. They have their own ways of doing it, and of course, because they're handling millions and billions of dollars, they do need technology to help them do that. And with a lot more discipline and rules, right? Because they're responsible for a significant amount of money, right? And so they're not going to not take care of their business, right? And so it's to their advantage that they're going to make sure everything works to their advantage, right? And so do we, right? So that's why we have this technology out there, is to help you make a better decision. Okay, so orders come in and out of the market all the time, and I mean, if you've traded the any exchange driven market, right? So the stock market, the futures market, the options market. I mean, right? You see the orders. If you ever see the order bars, the matrix, or the ladders, right? You see the orders come in and out all the time, right? And a lot of it is computer driven, in the sense that computers are used to put those orders into the market and kind of spread out the orders, right? Because if the market players put in, hey, they want to buy 1 million shares of Apple all at once, it's gonna definitely move the market, right? And so what they're going to do is break up that bigger order into smaller packets, right? And that way they're able to get the prices that they want over basically over a range, right? And so that's why when we look at this sort of price action here, that's what the app is looking for. It's looking for the price action that helps identify those prices at which is of interest to the larger market players, and therefore we can take advantage of that information ourselves and put our orders in at basically the same location, right? And so the app kind of does that work for us, helps us identify the prices of interest, and then we just need to make sure that we assess the context correctly. We manage our risk appropriately, and hey, look, we're going to be wrong at times, right? But there are going to be times when we are right, and so if we have the right sort of way to make our trading decision, which is less emotive and more mechanical, more rules-based in that sense, then we are able to make a better and more confident trading decision. And so really that's what we're on about with our apps, is to help you build not so much build consistency as it is confidence, because once you have confidence, you will have consistency. Okay, all right, so that's the order UFOs on the higher time frame here, just to kind of structure our views. If we want to look at a lower time frame, just to get a sense of whether there were in the past buying opportunities at these areas where price had responded, then you'll notice that we have two different colors here showing up in particular in the green, these green UFOs, right? What the app is doing in this case is saying that, well, in this instance where you have a lighter green, this is an area where price has not retraced to before, and therefore that's an area where there's a potentially a greater interest in as in there's still a number of market players who were not able to get their orders filled originally at these prices, and if prices were to come back down, then they're going to take advantage of that. If we see these more olive colored UFOs, unfilled orders, then what that's telling us is that the price has retraced to those areas before, but they may be of interest still to some market players, right? And so that's why we have these in a different color, just to distinguish between the two. All right, so I'm just going to turn that off at this point, and so just going back to that daily chart, so here we can see that this was more than likely an area right there where there was some buying interest. Okay, and so in this case, instead of being sell UFOs, these are green unfilled orders. Okay, on the buy side, so buy UFOs. Okay, all right. So that's really just for those who haven't, for the benefit of those who haven't heard of UFOs before and are curious on how what they are about and how to use them. But essentially, what we're just trying to do here is identify, well, what is the sort of action that has been going on with CAD Swiss. There is been that sort of downward pressure. We have now moved into this sideways type of trading action, and we can see, actually let me just move that up to that side. We can see that there has been some trading around this area before, which is now cleared up the top here. And so it'd be interesting to see whether within this area here, if we do go back down to that lower time frame, or time frames, whether we can see some UFOs that had formed around this area and also kind of serve as a little bit of resistance, right, which is causing prices to move lower. And as we kind of see previously, you know, there were some prior sort of highs around this area which had been not respected before, but maybe it's kind of coming back in vogue again, right? As the sellers try to look for higher prices to sell, excuse me, to sell at. So just going down to the 4 hour, just curious to see if there are any red UFOs there. So there's some new ones forming. So there's a new deck of or area of concentration where sellers are going to be interested in selling at, and I'm just going to highlight this area here. I'm just going to take that whole area just to get a sense of where prices are, the range of prices that could be of interest going forward. At this immediate moment, right, along this sort of area here. And if I just go back to the hourly just to get a little bit more details. So I'm just going to shrink that up a little here and kind of extend that there. And I'm just going to leave that area here as of interest. And I'm just going to kind of set those coordinates a little. Maybe let me just put it at 20, 69, 20, and you know, so the UFOs, you know, they kind of serve as areas of interest, right? And of course, depending on your broker, the type of spread that you have available, you may need to, you know, give a little bit of room, you know, on your orders for entry and for exit. Because of, you know, purely because of the spread. But as I've mentioned before, you know, if you are, you know, using, you know, a broker who gives you raw spreads and you pay a commission, then it's going to be as narrow as possible, right? And so there is a benefit for, you know, in our case, in our thinking of using brokers who just give us as narrow spread as possible and just pay the commission, you know, outside of, you know, that's not inbuilt into that spread, which is you know, more how, for whatever reason, why forex brokers, you know, why they built it in the spread, I don't know, maybe it was just easier in the past to do it that way. But now if you want a little bit more clearer transparency, then yeah, just paying a commission, that's just a cleaner entry and exit point that you don't have to kind of fill around with too much. But yeah, this is kind of where the UFOs are kind of positioned here at this point on this time frame. And I mean, if you do go down to lower resolutions, right, on in time frames, and you know, if you like to, you know, trade more intraday, right, then you can get more, you know, granularity, right, on where those areas, those locations, if I can use that word, of interest are, right, for prices to respond to, and which at a high time frame, you know, those who more swing traders, you don't really care too much about the sort of intraday sort of movements and, okay, you know, the ebbs and flows, as long as it gets to its destination, you know, on a swing basis, you know, you're you know, 50, 60, 100 pips, right, type of situation, then you couldn't care less about, you know, these smaller sort of bumps in the road, you know, and so, but you know, if you are interested, you can go to these lower time frames, and you know, calling out here, right? I would expect that we're going to get a pause, okay, in this downward move. Now, is price going to you know, come down and, you know, from here, okay? Is it going to bounce up here and then back down here, right? Could be, right? Or it could. I mean, again, this is why, you know, Forex is so interesting, right? Prices could move all the way down here, right? And so what does this mean, right? How do we kind of interpret this, right? Well, what it means is that you kind of can see what's going on here, right? You see multiple UFOs, right? Red UFOs, all along that area, which on that higher time frame, the hourly time frame, was just one whole block, right? So the what Auto UFOs is doing is it's showing you where those micro levels are in that sort of sense, where the market players kind of spreading out their order decks, because they know that, hey, look, I may not be able to get filled with everything that I want to get filled at one price, right? So they kind of spread it out, and again, of course, would you want to sell at a at a higher price? Of course you would, but there's no guarantee that price is going to get there, right? And so you kind of spread it out at I'm willing to get this higher price, and then a little bit higher, and then a little bit higher, and then you have an average, right, of prices that you've gotten into, right? And so that's what the kind of apps is identifying for you, is where those areas are, those kind of bands of or locations, multiple locations where there is interest in this case sort of selling, and on at least on this time frame, we can see that there's really just one area here that is a bit of a bump in the road, right, on its way lower. And but are there enough, right? Are there enough orders? Is this an area that is of such a significant price level that would kind of cause the market to kind of pause there, rebound up, and then head lower? Does it have to rebound up here? No. It could come up here and then head down lower, or it could just go all the way back up there and then come down. I mean, the market will do what it will do. The question is, do we have an area, right, a location that that we want to get in at, right? Do we have are we able to put our stake into the ground to say what price we want to buy at, what we want to sell at? That is a logical, sort of location for us to buy and sell at, and then make the appropriate trading decision, right? So this is what what the technology is there to help you make that sort of decision, right? And then it's up to you, to manage your risk, and that's the name of the game, right? Is survival, but you got to have the right tools, right, to survive in this game. So I'm just going to call out here that hey, look, expect some sort of bounce here. How far it will go, we don't know. But we do know that we will get at least some sort of bounce. So I would like the path to go up here and then continue lower, right through there. But we will see. We will see. But you heard it from me here, okay? That I expect a little bounce here, and we'll see if that's the case. All right, so I'm just going to put a little marker there. I'm just going to turn off these UFOs, right, so we don't get distracted. I'm going to pull that there. I'm going to hold that, leave that there. Okay, so if we're looking at the CAD Swiss, since we're in a sideways sort of movement, right? So we just go back up to these higher levels. Okay, so we are kind of moving lower. This is an immediate move to the upside here. Okay, so we could find, right? We could find that you know, well, if you're in a sideways move, it's always never a good idea to kind of trade in the middle, right? And so you want to get at least to the extensions as far as you can get. But again, you know, depending what sort of techniques you have, right? Sideways movement. Maybe this is an area on, you know, that will have a little bit of a bounce before heading down, or it could be an area which does become a little bit more significant, where prices come down here and then it actually moves back up this way, right? In order to get that higher high, right? And so this is just a pullback, right? You know, is one you know, perspective that one could have, right? And so, you know, again, you know, we're trying to be strategic, you know, we're trying to use different techniques to help us identify, you know, the sort of positioning that we want to have, right? So we've all got the same picture, right? We're all given the same picture, but the question is, yeah, what is that? Ultimately, what is that picture going to be, right? For us, that you're going to take action on, right? So you can either short up here, you can either wait for things to go long down here, right? With the expectation that if prices do come down here, you know, maybe there's a little bit of a, you know, wiggle there. You know, prices, you know, you want prices to head back up and then ultimately go all the way up here. Oops. Okay. All right. Maybe this is what your expectation is. So and break that bigger picture downtrend, right? But you know, prices will do what, and then you've got your fundamentals, right? That maybe you want to factor into things. So, but I think for the moment, you know, the movement, right? This, if we just look at the immediate move right here, we can see the, you know, there is a bias towards, at least in the current scenes of things, this pressure to move higher, right? And so, you know, for you know, CAD Swiss, right? You know, if we do see sort of, and it's going to be either the Swiss gets strong, right? If the Swiss gets strong, then it's going to push prices lower, right? If Canadian gets weak, right, that's also going to be, you know, additive in terms of the direction lower, right? But then we're going to have to see a switch, right, from CAD weakness into CAD strength, and then from Swiss strength into Swiss weakness, right? And so what are the fundamentals that potentially could influence that, you know, is something that you know, to kind of keep a watch out for. Or it could be just, hey, look, prices come down here, and you know, or just come to this point here and then move higher, right? I guess we'll see what things unfold, and of course we also have the Fibonacci's. So those who like Fibonacci's, you know, this is a 50% area. To come down any deeper, right, is kind of getting down to this 78 sort of level, right? And so is that, you know, maybe 2 points, right? Maybe you enter you know, take an opportunity long here. You just risk, you know, 30 pips here, whatever the pips is in terms of the risk, and then, you know, if you get stopped out, then you just take it long down here for a second trade, right? So that's how you could plan out your trades if you want to go long here, right? So that's what I would kind of look towards doing is considering a long here and a long here, maybe a smaller position right at this point, and then maybe a larger position down here with the expectation that price is going to kind of move higher, right? Okay, so I think that that CAD Swiss is an opportunity there. CAD Yen, just moving some of these old lines here. Similar, I think we're going to have a similar setup here. Where if we just go back onto that higher time frame, and you can see here it's very similar, that price action, right? That relationship between CAD Swiss and CAD Yen is very kind of very similar. We're in this range, a little bit clearer on the CAD Yen here, and so again, if we wanted to kind of define those areas, right, where price action has been kind of oscillating between, right, and then again, if we use the UFOs here to help us kind of see, this was a prior area where price had been tested, and then we have really this area up the top here. It's kind of a newer or an untouched area, right, where price has not been able to get to. But that doesn't take away from the fact that we have been trading around this area here, and we have this area in the middle here where we would expect prices to respond to. But let's just jump down to the lower time frame to see if the UFO is identifying this as a prior area, which currently it's not. But I can see here that prices really have been maintaining between this area, 8140 is probably what I'd call it. And if we just adjust that a little bit lower, and we can kind of see here is where prices responded to before. Right, it's probably a fresher area now that we've got emerging more from this price action here is really where that's coming from. And then on the intermediate sort of side of things, we do have this area here and this area here, right? Oops. Swap that around. Okay, and all this is very valuable information, really to take in at this point to make a decision, right? Whether you put an order there or not is going to be based on, I guess, your overall analysis, right, and your expectations. So I'm just going to turn off the UFOs here now. All right, and so again, because we are, in this sideways ranging, right? You may just want to ignore anything that's in the middle, because it's got to come down. It's really wanting to move down here. Really is what you want price to do, right? And so if we can get a little, even if we get a little bounce up here, right? On its way down, and maybe there is a bit of a pause here and it bounces around and then it finally hits down. Ultimately, if we're on these larger time frames, we really don't care about the intraday stuff. We just want, to see price action such that, hey, as long as it gets down there, then we're able to, get the risk and reward that we want to have, right? So if we're looking to plan that risk and reward, what is that looking like? That's an attractive, okay, maybe 2.5, is the sort of the risk and reward that we're going to get there. So because that's a wide area, right? That's 60 pips. So of risk, right? And so, and that kind of correlates, right, to where those UFO, those areas of interest, right, for where we believe there's interest in selling at, right? These bands at which we believe there's going to be some interest in selling at. So that's not, you're not going to get your three to one there, but hey, look, 60 pips, one standard lot, that's $600 on a 1-to-1. That's $1,200 on one standard lot, right? For a 2-to-1, right? So if you're happy with that, and it takes a week for it to unfold, well, hey, look, that's still a decent payday, right, for a week's worth. So we'll see. I mean, that's kind of that market, right, is kind of range bound. But again, right, could we pause at this area before heading up, right? In which case, maybe we just get our 1-to-1. We just have to be happy with that, and you just manage and trail your stop down so that you don't eat away at those profits, right? But yeah, so that's kind of what CAD yen, and again, we've got this trend line up here, and so there's going to be some folks who really just want to wait for the trend line to break before doing a retracement trade, and that's maybe what could happen, right? Is price could go lower, kind of rebound up here, and then retrace up, and then you can get short, but otherwise, we do probably still want to watch this area to see what sort of prices, how prices respond here, because you are going to get the prior, resistance turn support type of analysis going on here, where potentially, prices could come up here, then you get your rebound before things head lower, or it heads higher in continuation of the trend, right? And so folks, if that is what happens, people will adjust their trend lines, right, to accommodate that, right? With that sort of expectation, then maybe prices break again, and just keeps on heading lower. That's also a valid scenario, right? But I think overall, in relation to CAD yen, yeah, if we're able to kind of get that retracement back up to 80.35, you could take advantage of a retracement move with the expectation of prices heading lower. Again, what could be influencing that? Could be some yen strength kind of coming to the market, or in the other scenario is CAD weakness. So again, bring in your fundamentals into your decision making. Is also helpful to at least understand that bigger context of things. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this. But yeah, I think those are some of the alternative scenarios that you could play out, right? Is either you just wait for price to come all the way down here before going long, or you take advantage of some sort of short price action, take your 1-to-1 at least here, or at least trail your stop so that you can protect your profits, and if prices just bump up and it takes you out, well, then it takes you out, right? At least you've made some sort of profits there, and then maybe look to get back in if you expect prices to continue heading lower, right? Otherwise, you just wait until it heads down here, go long, and then that is consistent with a range trade. Okay. All right. Geez, an hour goes by fast, doesn't it? Yeah, so we've looked at CAD Swiss, CAD Yen, because we did see some interest there on the dollar CAD side, a little bit of sort of weakness coming in, which is what we're seeing here, weakness in both CAD Yen and CAD Swiss, giving us some opportunities here. And yeah, okay, so prices are starting to come into this lower level here. So just watch this, folks. Just watch this area here to see what sort of response we get. That was the UFOs on the hourly. I was at 15. I think it was 15. Yeah, prices coming in here at the 15 level. So is it going to hold? We're going to get a little bit of a bounce. Yeah, just take a look at that area and watch it, right? If there are enough orders coming in, then yeah, we will see a stronger bounce, kind of head back up. Otherwise, it could be more of a muted bounce and then a continuation lower. So even if you're just doing a one-to-one, given down pressure is down, right, then you could probably try a one-to-one at least. Look at that. But yeah, this is how we can use the UFOs. This is how they're helpful to us in making our trading decisions, doing our analysis overall of the markets, and at least giving ourselves expectations of things. Okay, so let me head back to slides here. So again, going back to some of the training that we have in November 23rd to 27th, our other sessions that we have with myself, Opa, Pedro, and Ronaldo. And then please do sign up for our free membership to Trade with UFOs, okay? And / Andrew, and also please, if you found this video helpful and you want us to do more of it, then yeah, please press that subscribe button. Please press that like button, and we'll keep on doing these sessions. And if there's anything new that you'd like us to show on these sessions, feel free to email me at andrew@tradictive.com. Okay, so I'm going to leave you here, give you a couple of minutes back to your day, and we will catch you next week. Okay, so bye for now.